Guys, a very good morning to each and every one of you, and welcome to FYI information. Welcome to FYI. We got a lot to share with you folks this morning. We trust that you guys are well wherever you are joining us from. We are happy to have each and every one of you with us this morning, and we have already with us Debbie Collins, we got Tommy Gibbs, Siobhan McDonald. Good to have you guys on the live this morning. And let us know if you're reading our audio, if you're hearing our audio loud. Audio Simon, we see you there as well. Chazelle Chipper, 68. Good to have you here as well this morning. Good to have you, Trey, on. Good morning to you. We're joining us from Maryland. Good morning to all of you folks. Good morning to my brother from, is it Hope Town? This who I mentioned to see you all over the weekend. I just remembered him. A very good morning. He says he watched all of our programs, and we want to thank you for your support. Thank you all for your support, for always being here on with us. Valid, credible information. I see Vashti here. Clear Alexis, Charlie Richmond is here as well, and Edward Brooms and Loretta Argyle. Well, you all know Simona Brooms unplugged on them yesterday. Simona unplugged on them yesterday. You know, a lot of foolishness happening in Silbert and Sheena Hazel. You know, even, we generally understood that in times of like these, you know, you got such tragedy on a national scale. We kind of put aside politics. Not these fellas. Not these fellas. And sometimes you got to meet them toe-to-toe. Sometimes you got to meet them toe-to-toe. So Simona unplugged on them yesterday. Unplug on them. Chisel Chipper say, unplug that mic. And you know, sometimes you unplug something, but you don't pull the thing far out, she come out far. She unplugged on them yesterday. We're going to talk about that just now. Orwin Dunn and Samoa Williams, good to have you guys here this morning. Horace Calendar, Penelope Hudson, she unplugged far. She was to the point. She far. Unplug. Unplug. This is an administration. They talk about one Guyana, but the practice, the preaching, they got to lock down. They got to asterisk, they got to tick next to the preaching. The practice is different. The practice is different. And that is why you all talk where you all want to talk. But David Arthur Granger, he was that kind of person. Systems got to work. These systems got to work. I told you I was listening to the live by Gordon Mosley, News Source, at Ogle Airport yesterday. I heard the president giving instructions to the RHO in there. Going on what plane? That's not his role. That is not his role. I saw a whole pack of them walking all over. If it's arson, a crime scene. If it's walking all over the crime scene. The folks tell us some of the remains were charred beyond recognition. You don't know where bones is what, where DNA is. They're just walking all over the place. Photo up. Government by photo up. That is what they are. Well, she unplugged on them far. She unplugged on them a far away. It wasn't close. Unplugged on them far. We can talk about that just now, folks. We're going to talk about that just now. She unplugged a far away of them. We head into the morning papers. They're telling us 19 dead, folks. 19. 9 hospitalized. There, I see some reports between 6 and 9 hospitalized. We got to get the figures right, you know. We got to get the figures right. All right, the folks says my mic has a problem. Static on YouTube. All right, guys, allow me to change my mic. Allow us to change the mic. We're going to switch out our mic. We're going to switch out our mic. Allow us to do that, folks. We're going to switch out our mic as quickly as we can. The mic has a static. I don't know what's doing that to us. The mic DC got a static. Allow us to switch out the mic quickly. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. Thanks for staying with us. Erwin Don Cook, thanks for staying with us. Giselle, we here. We tell on far away. She was. Apologies. Just ensuring we got all the pieces. Following morning, in the morning. Know some of y'all want to go there. Some morning, this morning as we begin our broadcast, Prime Minister, India's Prime Minister, better adjective, India's Prime Minister Modi is in Sydney. And the folks from his home country, they've come out to see him in real stunning fashion. In real stunning fashion. That's one of the things we're following this morning, folks. The Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, you know, and apparently Sydney has a big diaspora presence. A big diaspora presence. And so he's been meeting with officials of the government and of course, having bilaterals, as they say internationally, having these high-level meetings, looking to see how the two countries can collaborate and cooperate. So the Indian Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, he is in Sydney, and the folks came out by the thousands to see him, and we wish him well on that front. All right? We wish him well on that front. I see Siobhan is still complaining about the mic. Folks, is it better? If folks are saying it's sounding better, it's either it's good or it's not. So let us know. We want you all to have a clear audio. They say sounding better. We switched out our mic. The guys are saying it sounds better. Yeah, we switched out our mic. I see somebody say maybe it's not the mic. Some folks are saying loud and clear. Some folks are saying it's good. We're going to try to sort it out. We're going to try to sort it. So again, the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, he is in Australia and seem to be having a good time on that front. Other information we're following. In the US, they tell us that, the belief in God is declining. The belief in God is declining. Do God really exist? Less and less people are believing there is a God. Maybe people believing now, at least some at this end, that they're God. People might think that artificial intelligence does it. The folks are saying the audio is a little better. Folks, we're getting the audio crystal clear at our end here. I can see all of the levels looking good. We're gonna let me see what's happening at the back end. From the indications I have, the audio looks good at our end. Maybe it's something with social media. The audio looks good at our end, and we're trying to make sure it's not peaking so it doesn't clip at the end. So our apologies, how you guys may be receiving the audio at your end. Our apologies on that front. But from our end, we switched out our mic. Lennox, I see you there. Debbie, Collins, I'll try not to raise. Peggy Russell said both platforms loud and clear. I'm gonna try not. Yeah, Chisel Chipper says stop moving. Stop moving. Is that the static you're hearing? I can put a buffer on my mic, but it isn't close to my jacket. Even though it looks as though it's close, the mic is off of the jacket so it doesn't rub against the jacket. Apologies, folks. All of these challenges, right? But we need to believe in God. The amount of things that are happening on a daily basis, folks, we have to believe in a higher power. Glenford Gordon and Jamie Gibbs, Oren Barker, we have to believe in a higher power. Loretta Argyle, they say in the US, less and less people are believing in God. Maybe that's why we see some of the horrific mass shootings that we're seeing. Because the people don't believe, there's somewhere that they can run, people of faith. Christians, we say, we have the rock. We have the rock in Christ Jesus we can turn to when men fail. But if you don't have that, you feel a kind of hopelessness. And people resort to all kinds of means to express their emotions. People believing less and less in God. That's what they're saying. I hope you guys are not like that. We hope you guys are not like that. Look what else we're following, folks. And this one is very close to home. This young lady, they're telling us, lost her life in an accident over the weekend. And I don't know how to get around it. But the information, this young lady lost her life over the weekend. And I don't want to get into the details of it necessarily, save and except that the vehicle that she was traveling, they were in the back seat of this vehicle, and it was impacted by another vehicle. And herself and another young lady, they were flung out onto the street in Georgetown. And this is Natisha Natalie Fernandez. And Natisha, folks, is the sister of our very own Jarita Fernandez. And our condolences go out to the family, friends of Natisha, of course, the Fernandez family here in Georgetown and in Bartica. This was the sister of our very own Jarita Fernandez. And again, it just underscores, we talk about it here all the time for those of you who follow our program, about the carnage on our roadways and our waterways. And this is how we all are affected. We know somebody who's been involved in an accident. Crime is another major social ill in our country, we ain't going to Trinidad and Jamaica. Right here, spiraling crime. We know somebody who's been affected, who's been robbed, who had a house broken into, who's been defrauded in some way. Major issues here. Crime and crime. We say these are the pandemics, right? The way we treat women and girls, gender-based violence. That's another major issue here. And there was an international day, I think, of road safety or something of that nature quite recently. And then we see them kind of bucking up. It's only special occasions, you know. They say they're going to go back to teaching road safety in schools, and they're teaching teachers so that they in turn can impact students in this way. We take all them things out of school. We take all of them, and no fault of their own, backseat of a vehicle, and they tell us at a particular junction in the city, this was the intersection of Church and Camp Street. Church and Camp Street. Now, go out to the family. You know, our condolences. And of course, we've been right, go out with them. So another issue that we're tracking in the morning, we're pulling out of the morning paper. Some folks got EID cards. Circumvention to produce and to procure ID cards. Somebody wake up one day. Somebody wake up one day. The guys are talking about sound. Guys, we have perfect sound at the back end. We can see all of the signals going out. We can see all of the signals going out. I'm double checking. The guys are talking about song. Well, I don't know if it's y'all, if it's us, or if it's just social media this morning. Right? On both ends, we can see the sound meter at our ends, and we have sound at our end. We have sound at our end. So our apologies, folks. Our apologies. We're gonna have to double check. The folks are saying there is static. Some folks are saying watch on YouTube. Is YouTube getting good sound? It says must when you talk hard, but we are. I don't want to get technical with you guys, but we are at minus 12 decibel, so that even when we talk loud and we push over, it doesn't clip. It shouldn't clip. Right? We're not even at zero. We're at minus 12. Folks are saying loud and clear on Facebook. Some people saying it's clear over on Facebook. Some people saying, apologies there, folks. Apologies. But we're getting clear signal with the monitors that we have when we look at the meters. Right? Apologies, but we're going to try to rectify that. And even when we look at our feed that is going out to social media, it's a constant. The meter looks constant at our end. So our apologies, we're going to have to double check that. We're going to definitely have to double check that because we want you guys to have good audio. So we're getting that very, very clear at our end, but we're going to try to see if we can make it better. If we can make it better. What the writer was pointing out again is the circumvention of the channel that should be actually dealing with this issue of national ID cards. Consistencies. List. That's what the folks says. List. All right. I'm going to swap out. I swap out our receiver just now, folks. I'm going to actually swap out the mic this time. Right. So bear with us for 1 second. I actually changed the receiver. I'm going to actually change the very mic. And let's see if that helps us. All right. When all else fails, we're going to try something. All right. So give us. All right. So, one of my favorite quotes is from Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. He's famous for writing the Sherlock Holmes mysteries. He says, when you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, it must be the truth. Whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. All right? So we switched out our receivers. We switched out the mic now. We switched out the mic. So maybe it was the mic. Nothing lasts forever. Maybe our time is done with that particular lapel mic. We switched out our mic, folks. We hope that's better. The folks says loud and clear from Orlando. Well, it's a good mic. If we in Guyana, you could hear us still in Orlando. It's a good mic. When you emulate the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. And so it had to be in the mic. The folks says perfect now. Has to be the microphone. All right. So we need a new microphone, folks. Partner with us. We're available via Zelle. We need, you see, it's a good thing we have a spare. It's a good thing we have a spare, folks. It's the perfect time for me to see. You see how things happen? The Lord don't come, He send. Folks, y'all see for yourself now. We got to make sure we keep a spare mic, you see? We on the spare now. We on the spare. We on the spare. Y'all set yourself up here, though. We on the spare mic now. If the spare go, we in trouble. If the spare go, we in trouble. Jude Cameron said we outside. For my folks up at Buxton over the last weekend, our brothers and sisters with the Children's Carnival at Buxton are still waiting on the photographs. Still waiting on the photographs. One of these lapel mics, I think it's about, I may be off, but I think it's about $100. This is the Rode lapel microphone. One is about $100. Right? Y'all can't see. You see, y'all set yourselves up this morning. So partner with us, folks. We're available via Cash App and Zelle and PayPal, MMG, MoneyGram, and Western Union. When you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. We are the spare mic. If this one go, well. Guys, thanks for staying with us. Y'all have been here literally ups and downs. of the volume, all the ups and downs, the ins and outs, folks. But we got to turn our attention to this sad bit of news, of course, that we've been following. And I think the front pages of the Starbuck News, I saw the Kaichur News. I don't know what's happening with the Times because we're too interested. Not the Chronicle. We give you Starbuck News earlier, which has the same headline. That's what it says there. And again, this vacillating. But this thing by the arson, I see Starbuck News went with that. The Madia dorm arson. That thing with the arson. I want a little bit more time on that one. I need a little more time. You know, the campaign song 2020 was give Granger some time. They didn't want to give Granger some time. Now they're asking for time for the transformational development. 3 years in, they bring no confidence motion, but they're asking for time. I will not return the favor. I'm sorry. I will not return the favor. So folks, they're telling us this morning, 19 there, we thought was 20 yesterday. That was the initial information that we had. 19, and again, I say there's a vacillation between 6 hospitalized, and there's a vacillation between 9 being hospitalized currently. Again, that is the information we have at hand. That's the information we have at hand. There is going to be 3 days of national mourning. There isn't too much details about what specifically that constitutes. And flags are being flown at half-staff, half-mast. I see the European Union delegation, their flag, I saw in one of the reports at half-mast, and that is in respect to the 19 young people, 18 girls, and that young man, 5 or 7-year-old, who was the son of the dorm mother there at the Madia Secondary School female dormitory in Region 8. 3 days of national mourning, and we were articulating last evening some of the condolences. We see messages of condolence coming in from overseas. Mayor Motley saw from St. Lucia, Mayor Motley, of course, Prime Minister of Barbados, saw from St. Lucia, Prime Minister Pierre, there in St. Lucia and other places. Grenada, I saw, sent us condolences as well. So those condolences are pouring in. But I am not sold as yet on this story of this young woman who was upset and burn up everybody. I think this government understands they're in trouble and they're looking for a scapegoat. And I am not in a hurry to put this on the back of that young lady. One of the questions people have been asking us is whether the young lady perished in the fire as well. We don't seem to know that. Whether the young woman perished in the fire. We have to assume maybe she has. But this story about this young woman who was enamored by some older gentleman, and because she was prevented from seeing him, she took matters in her own hands in this manner. Folks, we live through the lighter, the wire, and the sponge. I'm not in a hurry. What has ever happened to that? What has ever happened to that matter? The burning down of the Brickdam police station. What has ever happened to that? So I would urge a thorough investigation. I want to read the report as well. As a member of the National Assembly, I want to read the report as well. And I want to be able to make the deductions, how they arrived at this. Somebody saw her lit the match. And as we said, and have been saying, I will continue to say, even if that is the case, even if a stove was left on, even if a plug sparked, somewhere, a lot of breakdown happened. Because we should be preparing for those contingencies. We should be preparing for those contingencies. There was a lot of breakdown. But I'm not in a hurry to believe that story. I am not in a hurry to believe that story, Robert Narayan. Wilma Grant, Don Sullivan, I am not in a hurry to believe that. I'm not. So I seeing some of the media outlets treating this story as though this is it. But then in another instance, I see the police saying this is their initial reporting. But then they are continuing investigations. This is what I read, to ascertain the true cause of the fire. Right? And when I see the PPP blogs running with these narratives, it gives me even more cause for caution. Live in Guyana or Live in Guyana, that's a PPP blog. And when they run into front with this is the same people who were disparaging Nazima Ragabir, disparaging another female journalist just the other day. When I see them run into front with this, that's a cue for me to breaks up. When they run into front, it tells you slow down. That is what it's telling me, to slow down. So 3 days of mourning beginning yesterday afternoon. Right? Flags flying at half staff. I don't know if, what else it entails. But we reflect on the lives of the 18 dead, 19 dead. And we pray for those who are in hospital. So part of what we know this morning, I saw the mayor said that there should be a commission of inquiry. He's right. And this is mayor of the National Capital City, Ubraj Narayan. There should be a commission. It warrants the Madhya tragedy. It warrants a commission of inquiry. 19 dead. As I said, I'm not putting too much stock in what the GPF, who has to answer to political masters, tell me. Let me bring some foreign judges. Let me bring 2 judges from overseas. Let us bring 2 judges. We ain't got a high trust level in this country, We don't have it. So we got to dot our I's and cross our T's. And I don't believe what the Ghana Police Forces say. I don't believe it. I would like to believe it, but I don't believe it. Let me bring some people from someplace else, independent, who ain't got a dog in the fight. And to tell us what happened there at the Madhya Secondary School, girls' dormitory. Because a lot of things are making sense. And as I was saying when we started, when you think this is the time we can all come together, not some of them boys, they play dangerous politics. Right? They talk with this side of the mouth, and the other side of the mouth is another story. Which is what we heard Simona Broom's former Minister of Government saying yesterday. All right, you have this national tragedy in Madhya. Who are the officials on the ground? You think there'll be a collective effort? No, they ain't got time, the mayor and other officials. And she was right. Madhya is a town. And so it has to be treated with a level of respect. It's not a village or hamlet. It's a tongue and you have to treat it with a certain kind of respect. And so them boys run past the mayor and other officials there and doing their own story. Doing their own story. I tell you all, Simone unplugged on them yesterday. Tell them go home. Right? Unplug. And she didn't stay close to the point. She unplugged far away. She unplugged. Take a look. We're going to play a portion of it, of what the former Minister of Government, Simone Broom, said. A portion of it. Unplugged, Simone Brooms.
I spoke to the mayor. And the mayor is there. And while we were talking after I came off the live, somebody is telling the mayor that they got ministers of government, including the prime minister, in Madhya. And the mayor don't know. The mayor have not a clue. So I said, Mayor, what is really going on? The mayor is so saddened by what happened in there in Madhya. Wait, man. Ain't got no check and balance of this politics now. Eh? And then the regional chairman informed the mayor that, well, the president gonna be going. But if Priya and them going into Madhya, with such a news in Madhya, you gonna get everybody together? Eh? You know, this morning, I really hard because I never sleep. And, you know, I come nice because, you know, you say, well, this is not about the politics. But this nonsense must be called out. Because the time if they run up and down to Ogle and they got a whole set of people, a whole set of children, the whole pack of them should just go home. Priya, them with their mad, you think this is any hugger picture situation? Eh? What nonsense is this the mayor going to tell me this morning? People in Guyana and around the world, this fire that you see happen is negligence. The entire government should resign. Madhya got a fire truck with one fire attendant, one lawnman. Eh? No fire hydrant by the school where it is. Children roasting in a building. People, the truck running up and down all over the place to get a little water. And no fire hydrant. It is negligence. And this morning I said, well, it's not the time for the yet, Simon. Back up yourself and you're going to talk with her later. But when I listened to a grieving mayor talking to me, and somebody telling him about what's going on in the region there, and he don't know, come on, man, let me stop this nonsense. Priya, go home. It's 23 and there, go home. PM, go home. I go home. It's not one fire. Eh? Not one fire happened in the shortest while in these 3 years, you know. No, we had fires before. Inquiries was done. Investigation was done. And recommendation is there. Nobody looking at the recommendation. We had school ban before. I thought throughout this country we would have got fire drill and this. Not a drill, not a nothing. Eh? And flying in with play where you think it's some hug up and kiss up kind of business. Oh, I'm a good president. I'm running around like a fireman at Ogle. Eh? Everything now is centralized. The CDC was set up all over this country and have things that people you could respond, you could run now, and then when you're going, what happened? Eh? This is nonsense. This is heartbreaking for me as a Guyanese man. It ain't got no boundary politics. It's your house you're running. Eh? The indigenous people should have sued the government. They were roasted to death. Yeah? And then you going in, and I talking to the mayor, and the mayor so tearing up on the phone. Yeah? Before you touch on ground fire going on, call the mayor, put everything aside. Mayor, we're there, we coming in, this is a team, blah, 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 Don't complain politics in this country when I don't want to cry myself. 20 young people die and what nonsense is this? Yeah? You going into Madhya with all your disrespect? I said your whole government should go home. Unfit to take care of children in a dorm. Yeah? One fire tender, one. When I don't care when region A, when Madia was declared tongue, you can't treat Madia like if it's some little region anymore. Whether you come into office, whether you like it or not, it's to continue to push the development. You started there walking up and down, and waiting, and some phone like if you some fire master, you know what going on with fire. Guyanese people, young people, you think good governance is when a president walk around and hug you? Eh? Or when 20 people, if you got any pride, let me come with governance now, man. This thing hurt me to my heart. Listen, I can't take this. Why you gonna play politics now? Get the mayor, get the chairman, get everybody, come together. Madia's not a place like that. I spent years in Madia. The PPP, everybody always stick together and put aside any politics, anything at all. Yeah? You go in there with such a disaster in there, and then you go in there like another disaster yourself. Yeah? It's not one fire. The amount of fire system should be put in place. We should never got no one fire attendant, no way in this country right now. Where there's a clear track record of fire behind the PUP. Yeah? And come tell people foolishness, you're right, Brian, but stadium and this and that. Yeah? Let me take the money, fix what we got, protect we children, protect we Amerindian children. For heaven's sake, protect them, don't kill them. Protect we children. Yeah? No fire hydrant. The fire truck running all over the place. You could have seen a video, man, run out the house with the brief. This is negligence, and don't tell me, but don't blame nobody. A certain part of the world, the whole government, don't go home. Go home. Present a picture. You better people go ahead and take some picture. No management. All of this fire on this morning, we got to wake up to 20 of them burn up. And got one fire tender, no fire hydrant, no water. What we invest in this money and do? The inquiry make recommendation. We have to get things to fight fire. We think you fight fire with where you build headquarters for how much billions of dollars? Eh? With some Chinese lights who can't even shine bright when the night come? And me, Guyanese young people perishing there, and you are running to Madia, and then even informing. Get the mayor. What happened to the mayor? He's the mayor.
Folks, that was Simona Brooms, former Minister of Government. I told you she unplugged. She unplugged, and she didn't stay close to the point she unplugged far. Unplug. She's right. And that's what I'm telling you. Even if you want to believe this fantastic story that a young woman, heartbroken, disappointed, some rigmarole, not a rigmarole story. Even if you want to believe that, there are so many other things. And Daniel Fraser told us yesterday, they could have put a better road leading to the school. They're building a road for friends, family, and favorites, some other place that don't have much people accessing that area. These things are connected. That's what Daniel said. And even in a time of national grief, them boys politicking hard. Who's the mayor of Madia? What's the deputy mayor of Madia? It's the same attitude they have all over. It's the same attitude. Just last week, the soldiers out on the road cleaning, the policemen. Why? Because they don't want to give the authorities, the local authorities, the money to do it. How many national cleanups have they had? When Granger came in, people offered their own, feeling a sense of national pride returning. Did that. Instinctively, that's what they're trying to jumpstart, you know. That's what they're trying to that is the kind of thing they're trying to replicate. That is the thing they're trying to replicate. By starving the authorities, you got soldiers cleaning the street. You know, if we got two national issues like that, of that magnitude, could you imagine the whole government would collapse? I heard, and I can play it right now for you guys. FYI Ogle, are you the RHO? Get in there. He directing who going on which plane. That is not his role. He is not qualified for that. He might have been slowing down the process more. He might have been slowing down the process more because when the head of state gets on the ground, it's more people that are needed to look after he than fixing the real problem. You see? If Robeson and Hickens then walking around behind him, maybe Smalley, but they're still then incarcerated at Mazaruni. But everybody that walking around behind him. And they think that is how we can develop this country. She's right. Good governance is not walking around hugging up people. That's nice politicking, but don't move the needle forward. Right? You got to sit down and come up with plans and move things forward. Move things forward. So a lot of things in this Kakameme story, this rigmarole one, ain't adding up, and I'm not buying it. I am a citizen of this country, and I have a right to say I am not buying this story. Heartbroken, some older guy she couldn't see. I am buying that. I'm not buying it. I see too much already of this circus to believe that. When the office of the DVP went up in flames, oh, they said it's the foreigners. Elements in New York, Ben came out and say, and then they say some electrical thing. Same narrative they were running with Brickdam police station, and then they say a prisoner confessed. A prisoner confessed. He had a lighter, a wire, and a sponge, and he took down the whole huge Brickdam police station with a lighter, a wire, and a sponge. And now they come telling us, oh, this girl they had broken. So bad. This girl they had broken so bad. They want to put that on her back to fetch for all eternity, and not their incompetence. I'm buying it. Kemra Dramjatan told us there are committees in Parliament that should be meeting to give oversight to issues like this, where you're calling the fire chief, you're calling this one, what's happening there? Are you all ready? Is this happening? You're training, you're getting the equipment, you ask questions to move the system forward. Them committee meet once since the PPP came in. A number of them in meet once. You see why Irfan got for then Ogle directing traffic? It's only left for he go on the air, strip himself and direct the planes coming in. They like photo ops. So we sat down, folks. We didn't come out in morning papers yet, you know. It's 10 to 9. We got 10 minutes left on our program. We didn't come out in morning papers yet. So we sat down with Kemraj, and he raised the issue. There are committees that should be meeting to give oversight and leadership. But they need none of them. The Constitution, they're wrong. When they put in the Constitution how Parliament should operate, right? This country, governance is not Shipnarayan Chanchapal Drive alone. It includes the judiciary. It includes the legislature. It includes the executive. All of that is governance. They think it's only Shipnarayan Chanchapal Drive. Everything else is rubber stamp. Everything else is rubber stamp. That's the point Kemraj made yesterday afternoon when I spoke to him about this. This is what's happening here. They said, grave lapses in security protocol led to Smalley escaping. So all of us at risk now. All of we. Right? All of we at risk. Who going home? Who can be fired? Putting the Guyanese public at risk. We just go on this another day. And there were failures in Madhya, as Brooms pointed out. And Kemraj makes the point. These things are related. Listen to part of our conversation yesterday. Kemraj, outside of the statement of the Alliance for Change, I know you're a grandfather, you're a father, you've been former Minister of Public Security. Explain to us, this nation, your own thoughts on this matter. This seems to be, on the face of it, a failing at many levels. Quite interestingly, just last week, the Minister of Public Security, the Minister of Home Affairs, Rupert Ben, said the escape of that high-level prisoner, Mr. Royden Williams, was a failing of a lot of protocols there in safety. It's 2 days later, again, on the face of this, a lot of failings happen here. Talk to us.
Quite frankly, so many things have gone wrong. But as I said in my statement, we really wanted kind of a day of mourning. But now that you've asked the question, this is what, at a parliamentary level, we were demanding that Parliamentary Security Sector Committee be set up. Because we wanted to know all of these matters in relation to safety at schools, especially with whether fire drills were being done, and to ask where and where it was done, just like how the PPP had asked us the last time. And so that we would have ticked off as to where and where it was done. As to grilling a school, that is horrific in a sense. And especially when not having the securities in relation to how you come out and exit that. I am aware that in the dorms in the interior, we have had that the girls sometimes during the course of the night escape and they go and do whatever things they do. And that is one of the reasons that we had put mesh on the school windows system all around. We had done mesh. I don't know who had this silly idea of grilling a dormitory and not with the other exits in that kind of a scenario. And if you have one or two girls, the big girls, I understand, in the big forms, why are you going to grill up the whole thing like that? I mean, this is almost a homicide has been committed there by those who would have authorized and been the intellectual authors of that kind of a system. Look, we're going to deal with these things, I think, more as they come along. But it is massive, massive liabilities and culpabilities on those who are in charge of school system and probably the region and probably the local government, ministers, and especially right down to the government. The government is ultimately responsible. I have had disasters in the 2 prison fires and so on, and I took the responsibility. But remember, those are different scenarios where the criminals in this prison system started burning mattresses and all of that and caused whatever they had. But we have to do the commission of inquiry, find out who would have done the authorization for grilling of a school like that. That's not the Georgetown prisons. But, and as a grandfather of 2 small kids, I could feel the pain this morning when I got up and saw the thing on Facebook and so on, as to how those mothers, those relatives, the friends and families and all of that of these kids, and they're not only from Mahdia. I understand the majority are from Chinapao and other surrounding villages. And it is just horrible what has happened. And I don't know if we are a cursed country, man. The deaths that are happening, and it's all over now. The Reuters, Al Jazeera, CNN, BBC, you name the international, and they're comparing it with almost like what happened years ago, deaths in the jungle. It's a sad day for Guyana. And with all that we now afford, I want to know who was the security people, because at a regional level, we hear that a number of these private security firms are contracted with very big monies being paid to them to secure public infrastructure like this school, dormitory. Where was that security? At least it could have been earlier that they would have known and probably get the fire service there, although we now know that the Bowser gone and clean up, let them. For what reason? Who would have overridden the fire engine or the fire chief of Mahdia to then go and say, well, go clean up? And a Bowser of that nature ought not to go through the mud that we know is the road really to let him now. You're going to damage it. But this is where we need a commission of inquiry to get to the bottom of all of this. And those who are responsible, I hope that they take the responsibilities. But please, I urge again the Minister of Home Affairs, start the operationalizing of that public security sector reform committee so that we can start asking all these questions of all the things about fire, police, the prisons, and so on. And it comes so close to the prison breakout of Royston Williams, is it? Royston Williams, Smalley. It's a shame what is happening in that sector now. And especially at a time when you have the financing to make sure that all that the loopholes were, we could have ensured that they're blocked.
Kamraj, all of the major news networks internationally are carrying this. All of them are carrying this story. It is so horrific. It's so shocking. All of them have picked up on it. I think the administration would have rather this message about national transformation. But it seems when you get down to the details, the devil is in the details. Not really much is happening. Here's the biggest GDP and all of that. And, the children are treated in this way. The fire system doesn't work and all of that. Are you worried?
If I am worried, that is why in my last speech in the parliament, I was literally, if I could have gone down to my knees begging that, please, let's have a more secure society. Security is one of the greatest pillars upon which society can be built. And what we are seeing with all the crimes and the ducking the crimes, a lot of crimes are underreported, as I explained in Parliament and all of that, but I get the impression that it is being ducked too. All of this is being ducked, and especially the ducking is as a result of not wanting that scrutiny committee, like a congressional committee that happens in America, whereby the opposition can ask all these questions and you are bound to answer them. You are subpoena witnesses. We could have subpoenaed people, the security officials and all of that, the fire people and all of that, to find out whether they are doing their proper work. And so we are going to be embarrassed internationally once again as to what has transpired here. And look, it is so beautiful souls, 20 and more children, our indigenous people. Look, I don't want to play so much of the politics now. There will be a time for me to do all of that. But it is a bloody shame what this government has done here. And I hope we get a commission of inquiry. I hope that the relatives and so on are counseled. I hope that there will be as great support for those relatives, the moms and so on, that you can't bring back the dead, but at least as best as possible to ease the pain and the grief. It is a horrific day for Guyana.
All right, the leader of the Alliance for Change, Kemraj Ramjatan, and I talking yesterday afternoon. You got to put the correct systems in place, committees that should be meeting that helps to foster safety and security, giving oversight to different aspects of that apparatus, that sector, the security sector in our country. In meeting, because them boys don't want to listen to you. They think they know it all. Another one feist on some young woman's back, this whole tragedy, because they want to fetch it, right? They don't want to fetch it. So they're going to throw it on her back to fetch. Folks, unfortunately, we didn't get out of the morning papers because we got so much. I see Chisel Chipper made a contribution to our mic fund. Thanks, Chisel. Chisel Chipper made a contribution on YouTube, on the YouTube channel. In the chat section, there's a $ at the bottom. And thanks to YouTube, they allow us to take donations to a program in that way as well. Thanks, Chisel Chipper. But folks, before we let you go, because we're at the hour mark for a program, just to let you know, folks, we had other things to discuss with you this morning as well. And I'm going to try to just run through them very quickly, probably in under 2 minutes. Trump back in court, folks. Yep, that hush money is Stormy Daniels, right? The judge said he got to come off of social media and stop commenting on this matter. That's what he's being dragged to court for. He talking too much. Harry. You know, they pull Harry security since he and Meghan stepped down from royal duties. He wanted to pay the police for his own security when he's in the UK. The court says it's not in the public interest to have that done. So Harry has lost that court battle, folks. Imran Khan, former Prime Minister of Pakistan, he's in court seeking protection himself from all the harassment by the powers that be. Imran Khan, former Pakistan Prime Minister, yep, he was in court quite recently. Yep, he and Harry got same protection troubles, different quality, but same protection problems. WhatsApp, it's been rolling out a set of new features recently. Last week, they said you could now lock your certain messages. You know, lock certain messages. Some of y'all like what you people phone, huh? Right? People phone don't concern me. I don't know why some of y'all stay like that. People phone don't concern me. Y'all like what you people phone. So WhatsApp helping y'all out, right? Now they're telling us they are going to allow you to be able to edit your messages. You sent message within 15 minutes. You can edit. Yeah. WhatsApp looking out for y'all. WhatsApp looking out for you guys. And recently, folks, we did tell you there's been a big drug bust in Trinidad. Cocaine, the side hustle. Cocaine. Saying this is the biggest drug bust in Trinidad history, over $200 million worth. TT dollars is 30 to 1. You can do the math. Or is it 31 or 32 now? Used to be 30 TT dollars to 1 Guyana dollar. Right? Biggest 230 odd million. Or is it US dollars? I gotta double check. But it says the largest cocaine bust in Trinidad's history. Right? The World Health Organization, Tedros Ghebreyesus, the Secretary General, he says, y'all don't rest. Right? You must be pandemic ready, the next one. Ready for the next one. He said, too much of we got into lax mode now. That COVID is no longer an international health emergency. Right? He said, you got to put systems in place. You think they're putting systems in place? Friends, family, and favorites. That's what the Secretary General said. Tedros Ghebreyesus, U.S. is telling its citizens, head out of Haiti. That's how things are deteriorating. You know, and quite recently we saw, which is the country, folks, where the two generals are warring. Which is the country? Help me quickly. They were telling their citizens, head out of there last week. Where the generals are warring. Let me see who's been following us. Now in Haiti, U.S. is saying, beat out. Right? U.S. is saying, beat out. Telling their citizens to leave Haiti. That's what's happening on that front, folks. And of course, in the 592, we got all kinds of things we're following. Or Sudan. Thank you, Tony Joseph. Sudan. In my head, I was hearing Yemen. I know that was the wrong thing. I knew that was the wrong thing. Sudan. U.S. was telling their citizens, was, as a matter of fact, airlifting them out of Sudan because of the intensity of the fighting. Right? And now you got Haiti. U.S. telling their citizens, pack up. It's time to go in Haiti. In 592, folks, the Ghanaians, with our local counterpart, launched the Ghanaian Chamber of Commerce. How many chambers of commerce in this one country? It's plenty. We're happy for them. That's one of the things we wanted to talk about. And this one, folks, this one, the American Embassy says think twice before hiring people to help you with your visa application. They said it got lots of scams. Lots of scams. People forging letters from the embassy with, what do you call it? With appointment dates. Letters from the embassy saying that you have an appointment, forging letters like that and charging hundreds of thousands of dollars locally. It's not Trinidad. It's not Jamaica. Locally, forging letters from the U.S. Embassy. So the embassy says, think twice before hiring visa service providers. Right? And in the same day, they're telling us that a fellow is hauled before the courts because he was promising he could acquire visa for at least 4 persons. Right? That's what he was promising. Took a lot of money from them. Took a lot of money from them and then couldn't deliver. He before the courts. The same day, U.S. Embassy says, think twice. Hundreds of thousands of dollars, they're telling us, he took from these unsuspecting folks and couldn't deliver, of course, on his promise to acquire visa for them. Yep, you can't do the time. Don't do the crime, folks. And this is Kwesi Lewis. And he's been placed on $400,000 bail after falsely pretending he was in a position, but he ended up in a prison, falsely pretending he was in a position to acquire Canadian and America visas for 4 persons. Right? The folks said exercise caution. And finally, Daniel is hoping that the U.S. Exim backs them for this loan for the Gas to Shore project. Folks, the people who know about this industry, who know about the petroleum industry, they say we need to slow down with this project because it can end up like Skeldon. You know, Skeldon was supposed to be a transformational project. Everything for them transformational. Yeah. Cherry Jack International Airport, the fiber optic cable, you name it. One laptop or family. All that was supposed to be transformational projects. All ended up as a failure. And people are saying, if we don't dot we I's and cross we T's, this gas or so project could end up the same way. Since they gone in, the price tripled. The price tripled. Used to be about $300 million US to build this facility. It's about $2 billion now. It's about $2 billion. Folks, we used to be dealing in millions here. Overnight, everything is billions. The Harbor Bridge, billions to repair. This, billions. All the people know the billions. That's all they know. Those were the other things we wanted to share with you in more detail, right? But let it suffice, Let that suffice, folks. Let it be so. Let it be so. I need a center. You see the mic throw us out? I got a center back myself now. Let that suffice for now. Those were the other issues we wanted to share. But we were detained in Madia this morning. I don't have no regrets. I have no apologies. We were detained in Madia. Thanks for joining us, good folks. I see Anthony. Christian is there, and Anthony says, Jagnio, non-stop BS. Non-stop BS. I feel you're right. Could I quote you on that? Could I quote you? Non-stop BS. Out front part. So look at the cross. Even Yonat Elias, Claire Capel, Yvonne Ramasar, Margaret Nelson, and all the other folks, Brenda Braffett, all the other folks joining us, ensure you share the live before you go. We still have hundreds of you, over 1,300 of you watching us this morning. Share the live before you go. Smash that emoji button, folks. And if you want to help us, folks, if you want to help us, help us in this way. Right now, we wanted to be in Madia. We ain't got the finances to do it. Right now, I wanted to be on the ground in Madia. Pick up and just be on the ground in Madia. If you want to help us, that's the stuff we want to do. Bring you information from on the ground. Right? Bring you information on the ground. Folks, you don't have to send us $1 million US. Right? We ain't got no fake false promises here. We want to bring you, and we have been bringing you guys valid, credible information. Here is how you can help us to continue to do that. You see the one Mike gave out to me this morning. Thank God we had a spare. Thank the Father, with the foresight we had a spare. We're available via Cash App and Zelle and PayPal, MMG, MoneyGram, and Western Union as well. All for your convenience, of course. All for your convenience. That being said, good folks, that's our time. And that's our program. That being said, it's been a delight being here with each and every one of you this morning. Our apologies for the snafus we've had with Mike and such and so forth and all that stuff. Our apologies there. Candidly Lenderjit, Suzanne, good to see you. And Jenny's Booker, Joseph Winslow, good to see you there. Audrey Brown, good to see you, Audrey. And Brenda Braffett. Ayabo Natasha, good to see you, Ayabo, and all the other folks. Candidly Lenderjit, oh, Scraps. Hey, girl, you're here. Good to see you as well. Stay safe, folks. Respect and manners. Peace and power. Stay safe. See you back on our next broadcast, good folks. See you on our next. If you found value in the program, share the live. Smash that emoji button. You're joining us on YouTube. Subscribe to our channel there on YouTube, folks. Subscribe to our channel there. Take care. That's it. Stay safe.